It's a race against the clock on Capitol Hill. Without a last-minute deal from lawmakers, we are just hours away from a possible government shutdown tonight. We all could feel the impacts of this stalemate in Washington, D.C. Good evening, everyone. I'm UQ Washington. Lawmakers only have 6 hours left to reach a compromise. Otherwise, the federal government will shut down at midnight. Let's give you a live look now at the Senate floor. Senators are voting right now on a proposed bill written by Democrats to keep the government open, but it is expected to fail. So is a Republican proposal that will also be voted on. If a shutdown happens, nearly 500,000 non-essential workers could be furloughed. The White House threatens to use the shutdown to permanently lay off more federal employees. Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security programs and services will continue uninterrupted, though staffing shortages could mean delays for some services, like the mailing of Medicare cards. To avoid a shutdown, the Senate would have to pass a House measure that would extend federal funding for 7 weeks while lawmakers finish their work on annual spending bills. Democrats are demanding the bill include an extension of Affordable Care Act benefits expiring this year, and they want cuts to Medicaid reversed. Without a last-minute compromise, it could impact federal workers across the nation, including tens of thousands right here in Philadelphia. CBS Philadelphia's Dan Snyder is looking at how this shutdown could be different from the ones we've seen in the past.
I think we're headed to a shutdown because the Democrats won't do the right thing.
It's in the president's hands whether to avoid a shutdown or not.
Plenty of finger-pointing, but little progress on a deal to avert a government shutdown. And in a new wrinkle, the Trump administration in a memo telling federal agencies to consider reduction in force notices or layoffs, an unprecedented move according to union leaders.
No, I've never seen the federal government threaten to fire federal employees because Congress has failed to fund the government.
The memo says layoffs could be considered for programs and projects where discretionary funding stops October 1st and in programs that are, quote, not consistent with the president's priorities. Rich Janetti with the American Federation of Government Employees says the union represents around 10,000 federal workers in the Philadelphia area. He believes they're being used as pawns in this political back and forth.
Federal employees should never be a political football.
Right now, it's unclear how many workers could face layoffs. President Trump was asked that question Tuesday morning outside the White House.
How many federal workers do you plan to lay off?
Well, we made you a lot.
Hundreds of thousands of federal workers could also be furloughed as soon as tomorrow or told to work without pay until the shutdown ends. While they'll get back pay, Janetti says bills don't stop and points to the last shutdown, which lasted 35 days.
We had people, federal employees with jobs, go on state welfare programs during the last shutdown in 1819.
At Philadelphia's IRS building, Alex J. Berman with the National Treasury Employees Union Chapter 71 says they would have funding to continue to be paid for a week during a shutdown, but it's unclear what happens after that. And that uncertainty is weighing on federal workers.
I gotta figure we're funding a large chunk of the pharmaceutical industry where it comes to blood pressure, anxiety, depression. But if you know federal employees, give them a hug. They kind of need it right now.
At this time, it's unclear when reduction in force notices could go out or what agencies could be impacted. Janetti says the union believes that these RIFs are illegal under these circumstances, and they're looking at ways to fight them in court. At Independence Mall, Dan Snyder, CBS News, Philadelphia.